To the max, baby. Hello, world, and welcome to the Max podcast, where we have a real talk about educational transformation. I am Dr. Max, and I am super duper excited to be joined on Women's History Month by two amazing women and some great friends and colleagues. Miss Alonzo, who was an assistant principal, but now is a principal in her second year, and Dr. Mutawally, who's done a lot of things, but has moved on to district leadership. Welcome to the Max podcast, ladies. How are you doing this evening?
Doing well. How are you?
Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you. I'm awesome, and I'm even better being here with you all. So my question to kick us off, what is the best thing that happened in your day today?
I enjoy our announcements because they're student-led. So my students come into my office and they just take over. So it's just fun just to see how they've developed and how they have their scripts memorized and they just go for it.
Wonderful. So students leading the announcements
Yes.
every day?
Every single day
office?
in my office.
Middle schoolers?
Middle schoolers.
I don't know how that could bring me joy every day, but okay. Wonderful. It's the small things, okay? Dr. Mutawally.
So I will actually go back to yesterday because I'm still on the high from this. Two of our scholars were accepted into the North Carolina Governor's School.
Oh, congratulations.
And so we are super excited about that.
That's
to have
phenomenal.
Two of them to
Two.
go.
That's a big
This
deal.
year, a very big
Yeah.
deal. And both minority students and a male and a female. So I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Phenomenal. And how many high schools do you have in the district that you serve?
We only have one high school.
So that is a
Yeah.
major
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Way to go. Way to
Yeah.
go. Congratulations. So I would think the highlights of my day today, today's been a day, huh? So the highlight of my day today was actually I took a walk. It was a heavy conversation with a parent, and I needed a moment. My heart was da 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 da. And I took her two children. I said, let's go outside. Let's take a walk. And we took a walk. And I think that was a highlight of my day, actually just getting to separate myself from that experience and also being able to connect with them, not around trauma, but just around being outside, giving them the opportunity to be children and to bask in the sunlight and the small things. So that made my day joyous. So, and it's hard sometimes to find joy in all the trauma we experience in school. So great. So let's jump right into this conversation. It is Women's History Month. And you know, I think that we're amazing people,
Yes,
right?
we are.
But I think it takes us some time individually to realize how amazing we are, and to truly be comfortable in who we are as women and just personally, but also in leadership. So have you had any struggles with your authenticity and showing up, and not having that imposter syndrome to present itself for you? And how did you overcome that?
For me, starting off in leadership, especially being a female, then on top of that being a Black female in education overall, it did start off with imposter syndrome, right? Because you're looking at what everybody else is doing because you're unsure, you're uncomfortable. This is not familiar, some people don't have a mentor. I'm grateful that I actually did have a mentor.
Mentorship is so critical.
It is essential in
Yes.
leadership.
Yes.
And as you evolve, you need more mentors.
Your
right?
your
And it
mentorship should evolve as you evolve.
Exactly.
Okay. That's key.
Exactly. And so, yes, struggled with that imposter syndrome. But what I found with imposter syndrome is not necessarily that you are pretending to be somebody else, is that you are running from who you are, your authentic self. And so one of the things that I had to do was go on my own healing journey.
Wow.
As an individual, find out who Sabreen is, whose Sabreen is,
Amen.
and why it is I was created, who I was created to be.
Yes.
And so once and that's still evolving.
Right.
Right?
That doesn't end.
It doesn't
Yes.
end. It never ends.
Yes.
And I need the audience to understand, you need to be comfortable in that, because healing hurts too.
Ooh.
Nobody talks about
Girl.
that healing journey, how
Okay.
it hurts.
We need to
right?
write healing. I'm gonna put that in my notes.
Healing
Healing hurts.
Right, but
Because
it
we
has
wanted to feel good.
We wanted to feel good, and we want the end results just like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it hurts. So right now I have 2 injuries on my fingers. And, you know, when my doctor was pressing on it, I was like, ouch, ooh, that don't feel comfortable. But he said that's necessary. You need that pressure. You need that friction in order for you to be able to heal. And so even as I'm evolving in my leadership and as I'm evolving as a person myself, yes, that imposter syndrome tries to show up in increments. It tries to show up in different areas, especially when you go to another level, right?
Yes. Another level, another devil.
Well, you know what? I actually said something about that the other day.
Did you twist it? Did you change it?
The Holy Spirit revealed to me, and I hope y'all don't mind me talking about my faith.
Oh, that's fine.
But he told me, he said it's the same devil. You just at a different vantage point.
Ah.
You see different.
Girl, you gotta preach.
Y'all gotta go back and look at it. When he dropped that in my spirit, I was like, ooh.
Not another level, but
but-
you've elevated to another vantage point.
Exactly. So the things that you will see, you can hardly see anything on the 100th floor. You move down to the 50th floor, you can see some more stuff. But when you get to the first floor, you can see everything clear.
Very
You can
clear.
actually hear. So you just at a different vantage point. It's the same crazy old work that he does. You know, he ain't gonna never stop being the devil. But it's just that you got a different
It's more
insight.
clear and concise.
There it is.
I'm still a work in progress.
Well, we all are, though.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And there are times where, because of mentorship, you know, I know that there's times driving down 109 and I call you. And I can be on bursts of tears or laughing, thinking I've gone crazy. But because of people that God has placed in my life, I'm blessed because you help me talk things through, and I'm able to differentiate. Am I trying to be my authentic self, or am I trying to be someone that I think people want me to be?
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
So I'm grateful for those 109s. I'm grateful for times where I'll text Dr. Mutawally and be like, I need a think partner. I have this situation. Can you talk me through this? And she's always been available to do that. So I have been lucky, blessed, favored, because I've had a great group of women that have been able to guide me at times where I feel like I've needed it the most.
And I think what we've shared, what you ladies have shared, is that even though things are uncomfortable, they're necessary, right? And so we want things to always be a period. We want it to end. But life is more like a comma or a semicolon. It is always a continuation. To be continued is what it is. And you always, life with cell phones and instant gratification, you want things to feel good.
Yeah.
Everybody wants things to feel good. We don't want pain. We don't want strife.
That's it.
However, you grow through the pain, the pressure, and the friction. Like diamonds come from the pressure. Pearls get refined from the pressure, right? And so when you think about the woman you were, and an activity I love is writing a letter when you start high school, 9th grade, when I used to do 9th grade, write a letter to your older self. And then as a senior, write a letter to your former self, like, or even a college thing that you would do with students. And, or even now for women, write a letter to the young girl that you once were. And what do you wish someone would have told her? Because if someone would have told her you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're good enough just the way you are, think about all the things that would have prevented you from doing, because you were seeking that gratification. You were seeking the acceptance that you had right there within you, that you were looking for someone else to provide for you. And mentorship is so critical.
Yes,
I think that in this younger generation of career people, they often look at it as a negative because people want to know everything. But the positive I find is that I don't have to know everything as a leader. The positive for me about leadership is being strategic enough to hire people and surround myself with people who have gifts and talents different from mine to build my capacity. Because the same way I sow into you two, you sow into me. So that's what relationships are about. They're reciprocal. So what do we do when we get to a point that we say, listen, this pressure about to bust a pipe? Because sometimes the pressure's a little intense, right? Right? Now, maybe that's just me, Sometimes Dr. Max
You telling the truth.
get in her
You telling the
feelings.
truth.
And sometimes I like to want to say a few things that the Lord is working with me on giving up those words that my mommy tell me I should not say, those cursing words, because that's not how I was raised. Amen. But they give me the outlet that I feel that I need. So, ladies, sometimes that pressure we talking about and all this, evolution of me and the authentic self kind of piece sounds good. But we all have not always been these women we are today. And even sometimes these women we are today, sometimes that pressure busts pipes. And, if you struggle a little bit with the self, like I myself do, this has been an authentic moment. You might have some things that aren't always the best. Like I like to say a few choice words, and I'm working on that. I'm gave up cursing for Lent. I'm trying to reduce the number of words I say.
Okay.
Amen.
I love it.
I'm replacing them with other words: sugar, honey, iced tea. See, positive, freaking.
Well, you do need to replace it with something else, because
I
if
did.
not, you go back to it. So I like how you did that.
Yeah, I'm
Sugar
working.
nugget.
Everybody is
Reframing.
growing. It's
That's
an
it.
evolution every day. If I can
Yeah.
get 1% better every day, that means I'm doing some work on me.
true.
So, what do you do when you get to the point of the pressure wanting to burst pipes and people trying you? Because sister girl is still there, although I'm highly educated, and I can speak the good King's English. And I am articulate, intelligent, and I know what I'm talking about. But I feel your level of disrespect trying me. How do you allow people to understand boundaries around how to treat you?
You teach people how to treat you.
Mm.
I will not tolerate you speaking to me like this. Let's pick up this conversation at another time.
And that face said a lot.
Plain and simple, because what you just said, a key word is the boundaries. And you have to make sure that you are protecting your peace
At all
the end of
costs.
the day.
At all
At
costs.
all costs.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it may be, you know what? I don't need to say anything right now. I just need give me 5 minutes, because I try my best, and that's the key word. Try my best,
Yes.
not to allow my emotions to lead my reaction, because if they do, Sabreen from Brooklyn gonna come out, and then Sabreen from Guyana is even worse, because then the accents start going,
And honey, I don't know what you might say.
what I might be saying. But you really have to teach people how to treat you, and you present yourself in a way that you want to be treated as well. Because I've also encountered people, they want that level of respect, but they don't give it.
They do not give it.
And it's
And
like,
they don't understand that they're not giving it.
Right.
That's the part for me
Right.
that's the most confusing. You're coming at me extremely disrespectful, but you expect me to respond to you in an extremely appropriate way.
Right.
And deep breathing has worked really hard. And you want to not be viewed as, the what they view us as women of color, when we can articulate and we're firm and we, are explicit about our expectations. And I don't understand why, when we are firm and explicit and we're focused, why people lead with that thought of us, and not that we're just driven and we are goal oriented. Why do you lead with the negative about who we are, whom we are, instead of the positive? That's disheartening.
Yeah. And I think people too fail to take the time to learn others' cultures, because I know you both are well traveled, and we have gone to so many different places. When you have the mindset of, let me go in with, I want to listen and learn before I respond, right? Yeah. And so take the time, for those who are in situations like that, take the time to understand the culture, because it may be a cultural thing.
Yes.
It may not be a thing of
Miss Alonzo
trying to disrespect.
That's you, Angie.
That's me.
Right. People may think she was trying to be disrespectful, but she's not. Like, that's that's just her. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's me.
I'm turned over to
No,
you.
it's true what you're saying. And I think at times, as I reflect just 2 years and being back here with you, I think that in leadership, I handled things poorly at times.
We all do.
But I think also being reflective now and being able to think back and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm doing the best that I can. However, I'm going to put this in place, boundaries. How you allow people to speak to you. Because there's been times in my own life where you speak to me, I'm going to speak right back at you. Like, you know, when I got here and they're like, oh, she's going to shots fired. But.
Okay, yeah. So it was like, you were like, hold on, Miss Alonzo, wait a minute. So, you know, we're at work, right? And so the first thing we have to do is listen to understand, and we seek solutions to solve. And they didn't mean it that way, honey. And if they did, you don't respond that way. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I'm going to apologize. Yes, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, but we all do that because, you know, kids sometimes forget. And then you forget and you be like, oh, let me code switch. That code switch happens quick.
Yes.
But what happened was them seeing that part of you made them build a relationship with you because what they see is they don't realize that we're human. They don't realize we go to the same Target, the same Walmart, the same grocery stores that they go to. And so once they realize the human side of you, you became one of their closest people.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying about the 2 years now.
Yeah.
So how have you taken those 2 years of experiences in this place to your leadership in that space?
Well, I definitely, because of leadership and mentorship and coaching, I've been able to like redirect certain things and not take things as personal. And sometimes just pause and be like, let me listen to this. At times I'm like, oh, she's just staring at me. No, I'm just processing what you're saying so that I don't have a reactive response. And I think that's definitely something that you've taught me. And I'm extremely grateful for because, you know, culture does play a factor here. And I grew up in a very transient population, went to 14 different schools. So you camouflage in, or you have to fight for your rights.
That's right.
And then
Make your place.
working in high needs schools, you're always fighting, you're always advocating because it always feels like they're trying to take something away from your babies. And no one wants to accept what your babies are going through.
When you did the clapping and jumping, we were like, okay, Alonzo, you can't go to me and clapping and jumping. Everybody breathe.
Like, you know, our
Have you
kids
seen the clapping and jumping?
the best.
Everybody breathe.
She may have.
Now it makes a whole lot of sense now.
Hey, everybody breathe. Stop. Breathe. Breathe. Everybody breathe.
So I think it just automatically brings that fighter in you. Like you feel like you got to fight for your kids. You got to fight for what's right.
Exactly.
And being able to reframe that.
The advocacy has to look different.
And it does have to look different. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, because sometimes you really can't be your authentic self everywhere.
Sometimes we have to train her not to show up the same in all environments. And I think that's the good part of leadership, and that's what mentorship does, right? We even talked about, if you know this is going to be a meeting, always take a notebook. Yeah. And so I would always take a notebook because even when things get to a point that I can feel frustration, I can feel myself zoning out, then you doodle or you intentionally take notes. So it'll help your mind to stay focused on the topic, right? So you can help, or even if it's a point of frustration, I can write my questions down. But teaching yourself the strategy around how do I manage this space so I don't show up wrong. I even said to someone recently, I feel like when I raise my hand, the whole room takes a deep breath. Well, that's concerning because there's nothing that I'm saying that is disrespectful, that is out of pocket, but it is going to be spoken with truth. It is going to be spoken intentionally, and it is going to be spoken with advocacy. Because if I am the voice for my children, then that is the role that I'm supposed to play. Yeah. And so I think that is hard in the schools that we've all served, because when you're the only advocate or one of the only advocates and advocacy becomes your role, that is also a different seat to sit in as a leader who's supposed to be an instructional leader, right? And so as a principal, we're supposed to be improving, EOC, EOG scores, graduation rates, attendance, reducing discipline, all of these data metrics, improving culture, teacher working conditions surveys. But we're doing all of those things while still trying to ensure that our children have access and opportunity. And oftentimes people don't understand the fights that happens behind the scenes so that you can just be safe to go in your rooms and teach. And so what do you do as women on your free time just to stay positive, energetic? Because guess what, ladies, y'all are looking amazing, right? Like, you don't look like you over here in these schools with these kids. Y'all look like y'all just walked out of like brunch or dinner or something.
She always looks amazing.
Honey, I came out the schoolhouse. Where y'all coming from? I mean, I got to figure this out. I got on some Adidas, like y'all over here cute. Y'all
Well,
walked in.
first off, we was not gonna come on your show looking crazy.
Honey,
Correct.
I mean, I should have did myself
We
up.
had to represent.
Yes.
I
We were
should
not gonna
have
do
done
that to
myself
you.
up a little bit more because they sure outdid me on my show. I thought it said to the max, but these ladies are absolutely too fly. But I love it.
It's for you to invite us back again.
Yes,
we
honey.
want to come back.
Yes, y'all are amazing.
You have taught me, and I go back to you, and it's Women's History Month and the school that we had the opportunity to work at together. And one thing that you did teach me, you embedded in me, is to be authentic, but at the same time be mindful that you have to code switch, or you have to be able to take your authentic. Being authentic doesn't necessarily mean that you got to be raw and real 24/7.
It's okay to be soft.
So, and that's what you have taught me, because, in my background always which is special ed, and you can relate to that, you are always advocating. You're always fighting for kids to get their accommodations, their resources, their service delivery time. And then in a role as a principal, sometimes you got to put that aside because you also have to manage a lot of other factors.
Lots of it. Like, you're juggling 1,000 balls in a day.
Yes.
And you want to figure out, and all of them are priority.
Right.
So when people say, as a principal, which thing are you going to prioritize first? I mean, that sounds amazing, right?
That's a job interview question.
It's a job interview question. So when you go to these job interviews, and we've all had those,
And they give you this
and
scenario.
they give you a scenario,
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3, and we're in there like, in a real life situation, we're actually trying in our brain to problem solve all of those.
Yeah.
Because that's what a good leader does.
Right.
But we also understand that if safety and security is not handled, nothing else is going to take place in our spaces, and especially in the heightened time we live in our society. And so it's just, you don't get a chance to breathe in that space. So when you're out of that space, you don't ever cut off being a principal. But how do you take care of Angela?
I love going to Puerto Rico.
We know you do. We know you do. And you're planning us a trip, and
Yes.
I can't wait to go.
I
We're going
love-
to wait till the world calms down a
Okay.
little bit, though.
All right, deal.
Yeah, just a little, just a little bit.
I think for me, journaling has been very, very helpful.
Your journal?
Yes, and I learned that from you, though. But
If you don't have a journal, get 1, get 2, get 3. Complete 1 before you start another.
that's something that I learned from you. I remember there were times where I'd be like, this lady's crazy. She just gave me a journal and told me to start journaling. Let me try it.
I was passing out journals to every student in the building. Every student came in my office with discipline. You get a journal. You get a journal. You get a journal. I was buying all the journals at all the stores. We all started buying. It was really.
And I'd be like, Doc, I have a real problem, and you're telling me to journal. So I think that has definitely helped. Like you said, the walk, the deep breathing. For me, just like a mind escape, TV at times.
Oh, I love TV.
Yes, TV
Mindless
at
TV.
times. There's this show now that just came out, The Madison, and it really has caught my eye. And it's an actually pretty good show.
Okay.
So just things like that. I think also just being able to, one thing that you also helped me with was therapy.
Oh, Honey,
Hello.
therapy, listen,
Somebody.
faith without works is dead, people.
Hello.
Get a good therapist. Some of you need a therapist. Some might need therapy and medication. Some might need therapy, medication, deep breathing, yoga, time with friends. You know, whatever you may need for you. There are, you know, lots of opportunities for your success. But I strongly encourage that we all seek some support.
And I think that's definitely something that has made a difference in my life.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think as well as just spending time with loved ones.
Yeah.
That really makes a difference. That gives
The
you
ones
that energy.
love, though, just not the ones you like, you know. So I found that, you know, through therapy, you have to feel it to heal it. And the alone time is where you feel it, and it's where you do the most work. And so all the things that we've suppressed, but that's where you become your best self. And I think the work of being a good leader, because in social emotional learning, you have to, I remember when I was first exposed to it when I was doing my dissertation, I was so angry. I was like, I don't need a therapist. What are these people doing to me? And why do I have to go through this? But we want to serve people and to be kind and empathetic, but we don't know ourselves. And so what it did for me, serving in elementary, being a secondary person, serving in elementary for 6 years, taught me so much about the importance of relationships and knowing people intimately, their children, their, you know, families, their husbands, their mothers and fathers, about my staff that I serve with. And so working with the SEL piece, it also taught me more about the things that I suppressed about me, were things that maybe I didn't want to know so much about. And so I found out for myself that I'm a perfectionist and I like things to be a certain way. And when things deviate from that, it caused me extreme stress and anxiety. And what I had to learn is that because I am this way, in leadership, everyone else is not this way. And you have to have the balcony view, see people where they are, and support them from there. And going to that side of leadership really makes things better because you're supporting people and you're coaching them along the way. And that's critical conversations, that's coaching them out the door, that's coaching them up, that's coaching them to be principals and leaders. And I've worked with a lot of people and coached them lots of places and some out the door. But I had to first be comfortable with me. And I've had women, and I think what hurt me the most is working with women who tried to break me. Because I'm very confident in what I know. I don't have to compete with you because my mom told me using this term is not okay. I don't want to say I don't care, but it doesn't matter to me to be in competition. I feel like God has enough rays in the sun for everyone, and I'm going to get mine and you're going to get yours. So there's no competition for us. Because if it's not meant for me, I'm not going to get that sunlight. So what are we competing for? I should be trying to figure out how to support you to be your best self while you do the same for me. So, but unfortunately, so many of us, I've found along the way, don't have that same mentality. And for me, in leadership, that has been my goal. And so my protection mechanism is to stay away, right? Now, I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but that's my protection mechanism.
But one thing that you said to me that's very impactful, how many times have we taken the time to ask another woman in leadership what does support look like for you? Because sometimes we have all the great intentions,
and it doesn't be what they need.
But that may not be what they need or what they process. One thing that I've been being very reflectful on is the different love languages. Because what I accept does not mean that's what
Mine
you
is
accept.
Gifts.
And that's both of ours.
Gifts.
Really? Mine's gifts. I love gifts. It can be sticky notes, a Sharpie. One thing that I was being reflectful of last week, for instance, was where we currently work at, there's not a lot of shops per se, where you can just go through a drive-through and get a coffee, right?
Oh.
So, and I was
it was
like,
gonna be that pop-up clothing shop that sell coffee.
that's gonna be an idea. I think that might be what caused that
The
idea.
coffee shop.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
To come soon. It's coming soon.
One.
So for me, it was just like Dr. Maxwell would share her Starbucks with me. You know, and she would be like, "Get a cup," and so to me, that was just something.
I would say it like that.
You be like, get a cup. Alonzo, get a cup.
And she was like, well, I want some coffee. Get a cup. Like, what's the problem?
So, but then it just makes me think, how as females, we don't ask each other, how do you process support?
What do you
And I
need?
think listening to what you're saying there makes me more reflectful when I go back to work to ask the women that I work with, what does support look like for you? Because maybe I feel like I'm giving you that,
But I'm not giving you what you need.
but I'm not giving you what you need.
But do you know what you need?
Well, that's another story, and that's why I pass them on to you.
Mutawally. Now, with someone with so much experience, so let's talk about that question.
Yeah, do you know what you need? And what you need varies as you continue to grow
Evolve.
and you continue to evolve. I love that word. As you continue to evolve. And that's where coming back to that mentorship piece, like trying to understand and having that thought partner to walk through and talk out like, I'm frustrated about this, but why am I frustrated about this instance? Why am I frustrated about this situation? What is it about this situation or this person that is causing me to tick? But I need to have that person who is at another level that I can spar with. So my bishop, before he passed, he always told us, you don't talk across, you talk up. And so, sometimes I can't talk to the person who is right next to me. I have to find somebody who is in a different, at a different vantage point, at a different level, so that I'm able to spar with them to ask, how would you handle that situation? Because chances are they may have been in that situation before I.
Amen.
Right? Another thing I wanted to make mention of, kind of backtracking to what you were talking about, the SEL Maxwell, because I just did a presentation this weekend. The NEA, which is, for those of you who don't know, the NEA is one of our unions in education. And they have what is called the leadership competencies. One of them is social emotional intelligence. And just thinking about what Dr. Maxwell was just talking about, and even Ms. Alonzo was talking about, two parts of the actual SEI is self-awareness and self-management.
Amen.
And another one is relationships, but we ain't gonna get
talk
there
about
because we got
Next show.
We have to stay. We have to start with those two, and I'm glad that those are the two that they put first, and then it goes into levels like your foundational all the way to, I can't remember what the third level is, but you have to become self-aware, like knowing who you are
And being comfortable there.
and being comfortable there. And that's why I was saying, like, you have to date yourself, because dating is just collecting data.
That's right.
Like, I have to collect data on myself constantly, like to say, Sabrina, you should have never said that. Becoming a reflective practitioner, like, you did not say that right. Like, go back and apologize.
And fix it.
Right, fix it.
But a good leader, if I am okay with correcting behavior of others, I should be okay with correcting my own behavior. I should be a reflective practitioner. I can't just call people out and be too good to say, you know what, I apologize for that. And Miss Alonzo has seen, I called you one morning. You were like, okay, what you now? So I need somebody to talk through this. And we were both on our way to work, right?
Yep.
And because that sparring is what you have to have. I call you. But that's the part that I think people miss.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's it.
That's where you grow.
That's it.
And it's okay for me not to have all the answers, even though I'm the principal. My admin team every day sit around the table and discuss the events from the day. The good, the bad, the ugly. When Miss Alonzo walked in today, we were having our debriefing conversation. When we opened the door for you, we had just finished our debriefing conversation, because that's how you get better. That's how you fine tune your skills. If everybody just walk out the door, how do you know what you need to prepare for, right? And that's what leadership is about. It's not about perfection. It's about growth. And we as leaders should be trying to grow just as much as we grow the people that we serve. It is servant leadership. But I have to first become emotionally intelligent and self-aware about who I am and whose I am before I can ever help anyone else. And I got to be comfortable in my uncomfortableness. It just is what it is. I can authentically say, I am Thyais Maxwell. All of her whether you like the boldness, whether you like the quietness, this is who she is. Okay, this is what God made me. The loudness, the quirkiness, the awkwardness, the happiness, the I love to embrace people, the unapologeticness. This is who she is. I will give you this straight off my bat. This is who she is. And I'm going to trust you wholeheartedly. But once you wrong me, I'm done. Right?
Yeah.
And that's hard for people to be able to share and say.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
That takes hurt. That takes growth. That takes love. That takes healing. That takes all of the things that you have to grow through. And it takes age. I don't think I was this leader at 30.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'm a different leader now.
Yeah.
A couple years later, 32.
I know that's right. Let's run with it.
Hey, I'm
Run
a
with
couple
it.
years later, you know.
Run with it.
2 years later, you know. Right? You evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
having surrounding yourself with sister friends that say, "Girl, let me tell you about that." Like, you shouldn't have done that.
and having people can correct you.
Yeah.
Like we want to dish out correction, we want to give correction, but somebody correct us, and now we got a whole attitude.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of it.
Yeah.
But then I had to sit back and say, "Yeah, you were right. Don't even worry about it."
You've been guilty of that too, ain't you?
All the time. I mean, all the time.
Not all the time.
All the time.
Some
all
of the time.
I think also, like when you said, like, you know, when someone's wronged us, but how many times have we wronged somebody? Not
That's
on
right.
purpose.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or on purpose, you
That's
know? So
good.
we have to also check ourselves, and that goes back to who we are to become our authentic self.
That's right.
Because we have to take accountability. I was nasty. I was
I
wrong.
am so sorry.
That's
And-
If I've ever wronged you.
I'm sorry too, Dr. Maxwell.
sorry, too.
All right, I'm glad that this is giving us the opportunity to
Amen.
start straight. Let's go.
If I ever wronged you.
you know, I love me some.
I
you.
love me some
I
you.
love me
I'm
some
sorry
you.
if I wronged you.
You know, girl. You know, you would never wrong me.
No, but I'm saying, but
yeah,
sometimes we
it's
don't
true.
think about
We
that.
don't.
How many times we as
Yeah.
females we come across in ways and we
That aren't
put up
kind.
those words, but sometimes we haven't been kind also.
And words hurt.
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah.
that song, Sticks and Stones May Break My
A
Bones,
lie.
but words don't hurt me?
A lie.
That's not
A
true.
bold-faced
A
lie.
bold-faced lie. Words hurt people.
And they
So
do.
yeah, I think it's important for us to take from this is being vulnerable, being your authentic self. You have to recognize I've wronged and I've been wronged. And where can I do moving forward? You know, what SEL practices are we going to put in place for our own selves so that we can make improvements on who we are, but also so that we can continue to make the impact that we make with the lives of our babies?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we're in this for the kids.
That's it.
And their lives mean so much.
Yes.
And the modeling we do for them is for generations
That's
to
it.
come.
That's it.
And so we have to really do a great job of being good people because they're watching it. The kids don't learn from what we say. They learn from what we do. So,
it.
ladies, I think this has been amazing.
Well,
What do
thank
y'all
you.
think?
I had
We
fun.
need a part two.
Yes, honey. Like, you ladies are amazing. Do you have anything you would like to say as we get ready to wrap up?
What's one thing that you feel that as a female in leadership, as a minority, people overlook
That's good.
as far as something that you need for your development? Because if we think about culture, culture plays a different fact. And in different households, some of us, you know, like for many times, I want to be a fixer. I want to fix this immediately. And you'd be like, Alonzo, and fix it. Let's just fix it. Let's just buy this. And that's not always the response. So what's one thing that you feel that people overlook your need in leadership with what you have on your plate?
I really think that people, with the current space that I serve, because I'm going to talk about current, I think that people think that it's easy. I think that people overlook the brevity of the weight that the space carries. And that because of the person that I am, and I'm always seeking to solve, and I look for solutions that, you know, will fix things and make people's outcomes better. I don't want to be a part of something to leave it as it is. My goal is to leave something better than it was. And this amazing man, Dr. Quincy Williams, when I started this experience 4 years ago, he said, I need to share something with you. You want to fix things. You can't fix this, but your responsibility is to leave it better than it was when you came. And so when that feels like it's fleeting for me, that becomes scary because I don't want to do anything to harm children. I don't want to harm children because I feel like education is what their lives depend on. And I feel like this is my ministry. And I think that people take my passion as poison. And they misinterpret it for negativity. And that's my tone is what it is. Whether I'm happy, I'm mad, and I'm sad, or I'm glad. This is authentically who I am. And because I'm passionate about the work that I believe God has assigned for me, I can't play in chaos. And so I want people to understand that this is real for me. This is not a game for me. These children's lives mean something to me. And this work is important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it at a cost for me.
Yes.
And I think people don't understand that in leadership, when you're truly passionate about it, your family suffers a cost.
Yes.
You suffer a cost.
Yes.
Women in leadership and public service jobs die sooner. Heart disease, blood pressure. We have anxiety, depression. We suffer with high blood pressure. And you can do all the yoga, deep breathing, getting up at 2:40 in the morning. You want to, but and I don't want to always be put in because I am someone who can do high need schools. Why is that all I should do?
That's it.
Don't typecast me.
That's it.
Don't typecast me. That's unfair to me and my skill set. I'm highly educated, very articulate, and I can serve anywhere because that's who I am. I'm dynamic. I can code switch, and that's the work that I've been given to do. But if you don't give me the opportunity, you'll never know.
No, that's it.
You'll only know one dimension of me.
Thank you for answering that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. This is my podcast, by the way, Angel.
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
I just have questions.
I just had to.
Love it.
I just
that
had
was a
to.
great way
To wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Was
was
that
well
just for
said.
me?
That was well said.
I mean, we don't have no
Yeah.
more time, but that was
Okay.
for you
Okay,
because
thank you.
That was well said.
We had a special guest today, and I don't think she got the proper introduction. Dr. Mutawally, would you like to introduce our special guest?
Our special guest is half asleep, but it is my soon-to-be 3-year-old. Yes, she's half asleep, y'all. Soon-to-be 3-year-old,
She's not
green-eyed
happy.
little baby. This is Miss Chanel Luna.
Hi,
And
Chanel.
she just wants to sleep, and now she's excited because her tail is wagging.
Hi,
So,
Chanel.
Tell everybody hi.
Tell the world hi, boo-boo.
Say hi.
Hi. So I have a baby. Her name is Ember. Chanel and Ember do not get along, and we're really
Alpha
working on
women.
their skill set to be able to play together. I'm really grateful to have spent this time with you ladies. I miss you. I'm so grateful that after a long day of work, you came and spent time with me. So if you have not liked, subscribed, or shared, please do all three because you're missing some great information. We would love to see you on 2theMax podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. Miss Alonzo.
All right, gracias por tenernos. Estamos muy orgullosos de estar aquí.
Hey, I like that.
Okay.